Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I want to talk about a project I worked on quite a while ago, during May of 2025 actually. This was one of the exclusive items from last year's Christmas mystery box, which is why I did it so long ago. I was getting stuff ready well in advance. Also, I had an idea for it, and something I've come to learn about myself and my creative process is that when the idea strikes, I have to get it out or I forget about it. So, here is the washi tape. This is available in my store now, and each design gives you the option to get normal washi tape or special foil washi tape. The gold and silver foil, while a very time-consuming addition, are also such a nice touch and something I knew from the start that I wanted to include. So, if you're interested in the washi tape, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment that'll lead you to my store where you can check it out. Anyhow, without further ado, let's talk about the design process. So, the first tape I designed was this warm-toned project with peril and sky. I had the idea driving home from church and pretty much spent the rest of the day working on it. Unsurprisingly, it took me twice as long to format the silly thing as it actually did to draw it, since I ran into a few problems along the way. Luckily, though, I sorted them out with a minimum of belly aching, and about 3 hours of trial and error. This was originally just going to be Peril, but the pattern seemed kind of empty with just her, so I added in her brother too, since he matched the color palette. I'm not sure how to describe the artistic tone I was going for here, but I wanted it to be busy and full of detail, without anything seeming too samey. I picked peonies for the flowers because I love their crinkly petals, and the colors fit really nicely. So, drawing this design was actually pretty straightforward. I knew what I wanted, and everything kind of just flowed from there. One thing I had to really pay attention to was my line weight and details. The lines had to be thick enough that they'd be visible on 20mm washi tape, but thin enough for the details to be visible. And I had to simplify both the flowers and the dragons, again because of the small size. The coolest thing about this design for me is the smoke twining around them in the flowers. That's where most of the gold foil is, and it really gives it this noble look that I really like. Plus, the gold works super great with the red-orange color palette. And, of course, I couldn't resist throwing in a tiny snail for Sky. It was too cute, I couldn't help myself. So, the issues with this design started when I finished the art and realized I hadn't really thought through the template. The pattern repeats, but it repeats on a set length, every 350mm. When I went to copy the design over to the rest of the 350mm, I realized I'd screwed up. It fit 3.5 times. To make that kind of make sense, it fit 4 perils and 3 skies. So if I left it like that, the pattern would have been messed up and have 2 perils right next to each other. So then I spent like an hour sliding pieces around and stretching the design out so that it fit 3 sections into 350mm. I am glad I had to do that though, because I actually think it looks much better after some rearranging. More natural, I think. And then, after all that work, I realized the foil template was 250mm, not 350. So if I wanted foil for the tapes, I literally had to redo all the work I'd just done so that I could have a foil version and a regular version. Let's just say, this was not my happiest discovery. I ran into more trouble later getting the gold foil pattern to work, but I won't go into boring detail. Also, I can't relive that process. It was too painful. Anyhow, that's the Skywing washi tape. It was a learning curve for sure, but the final product looks absolutely stunning. The next day, after talking some specifics with the manufacturer, I got to work on the second design. I wanted to have 2 options because all of the medium and large boxes were going to be getting a roll, and I kind of like the idea of not everyone getting exactly the same thing, so making 2 designs gave me options. Also, since the manufacturer said I could split my order between gold and silver foil, I thought it would be cool to have a warm-toned gold roll and a cool-toned silver roll. So the next washi design features sea wings, specifically another sibling set. I had originally included Coral in this, but I couldn't get her pose to work for me, and I didn't really have room for her, so I cut her and made it about 3 of the royal siblings, Tsunami, Anemone, and Turtle. This design took a little longer to draw, since it has 3 dragons instead of 2, but the formatting was a tiny bit easier since I knew more about what I was doing and what mistakes to avoid. However, the art process still took about 6 hours from start to finish, so it was still a hefty project. For this design, I wanted to kind of stick with the same visual setup. So for the flowers, I picked water lilies. I will admit I took some liberties with their coloration, but I really wanted the colors to play well more than I wanted everything to be totally accurate. I was really struggling to find a blue flower that was both easy to draw and simple enough for such a small print, while also having the right shape I was looking for. Ironically, these flowers have curled petals too, a lot like the peonies, but with skinnier petals and less curl. I went back and forth on whether or not to do water instead of smoke for this design. Thematically, smoke didn't really make much sense, but I wasn't sure how to change it to water and still have it look good. Luckily, it occurred to me that it'd be pretty cool to have water and then use the silver foil for the shiny spots of the liquid. I love how that worked out, because it incorporated the silver foil into the design naturally in a way that made sense, but it also matches the other washi tape, so they make a good set. That makes me really happy. I had a lot of trouble with the colors for this set. The warm tone design was easy because Sky and Peril are nearly identical in color. These 3, however, have a pretty good color range between them, so getting the design to seem cohesive without leaving anyone standing out too badly was tricky. But I think in the end I managed it pretty well. I just tried different colors over and over until I found a version that I liked. That's probably also part of why this design took longer than the other. Overall, designing both tapes took about 13 hours over 2 days. I was pretty glad to have it over with, too. I'd actually wanted to do washi tape in my store for over a year before that point, but I just never really had a good idea for the art. It's tough because it's so small. You have to get it to look good without crowding, and that's hard for me because I do tend to get a little detail heavy sometimes. But once the ideas popped into my head, it was nice to get both designs done and ordered so quickly. Sometimes my creative process amazes me. I was turning over the idea of washi tape for about 16 months, trying to figure out what to do. And then I had random inspiration in the truck on a Sunday morning. Like, what are the odds? Anyhow, like I said earlier, both designs are available in my store with an option for foiled or normal washi tape. For me, the Peril and Sky roll with gold foil is my absolute favorite. I can't get over how lovely those colors all work together. But my second favorite is the Seawing roll with no foil, because I actually really love the line work on the water itself, which is unusual. What do y'all think? Would you ever want to go through the fun but exhausting fever dream that was designing 2 washi tape rolls in 2 days? Which design is your favorite? Don't forget to check out the description and the pinned comment where you can find the links to my store and this washi tape. There are also links to my DeviantArt, Patreon, and Redbubble if you're looking for other ways to find my art or support me. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful week.
You should know that I